Hi everyone, my name is Sally and I'm really excited to welcome you to this episode we've designed for everyone to come together, have some lively debates, get some inspiration, connect with us, and hopefully some laughter along the way. And today I am excited to have two amazing guests with me. Rachel, how are you, Rachel?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, you look so cute.
Thank you.
I'm loving the hair, everything going on there.
Thank you so much. You look lovely yourself.
Thank you very much. And I have Shem over there.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Shem?
I'm good. I have to say, both of you ladies look very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He knows, right? He has
Yes,
to
he
say
does.
the ladies look You've been trained. No, I'm just kidding. But so I'm happy to have you guys over. It's holiday season, it's hectic and everything's going on, so it's a good thing we can all come together and kind of talk and have some fun. What do you have planned for Christmas?
Nothing much. Just gifts with the kids. Day off from work, watching some movies. That's it.
That's it?
Nothing
Okay.
major.
You don't get yourself all caught up with the
Nah.
with the crazy and the madness.
No.
You try to focus on what the day is
It's too
about.
exhausting.
It's too exhausting. I know. Yeah, it really can get exhausting. What about you, Shem, and your family?
No, I don't get into Christmas as much.
Okay.
I'm not a good gift giver or buyer.
Okay.
When I say that. So
Yeah.
I really don't get into that commercial aspect of it. But
Right.
I try to enjoy and give back to the community instead.
Yeah, okay, that's a good thing. So, welcome guys. Today we are going to talk about relationships, which is something that affects all of us, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a marriage or if you're just dating someone, and we're going to talk about what maybe works and what doesn't work. And I'm going to start with Shem. We're going to put him on the spot because he is the man. What, in your opinion, do you think we should consider in a relationship? What makes a good relationship work, in your opinion?
A good relationship, first of all, takes two mature people.
Mature is the main word.
Yes.
Right.
People who already know themselves, they are comfortable in their own skin,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do well by themselves. That way they know they're not really trying to get somebody else to do things for them that they cannot do.
Right.
Because I think expectations, when you expect something from somebody, that's just set up for failure.
Right.
So I think that's one of the key things. Two mature people, you can't get in a relationship with an immature person.
That's true. Because a lot of times I see people saying, oh, you complete me, or he completes me. Is there such a thing? Shouldn't you be whole by yourself and the other person is whole, and then, you're kind of coming together and enjoying each other?
I think I totally agree with what Shem is saying, because when you go into a relationship, you shouldn't go into one expecting to find something, expecting for the other person to do or give you something.
Right, so that you can be complete.
Exactly,
Mhm.
because if then he doesn't give to you what you're expecting, then your relationship is set to fail.
Right.
But if you go as a complete person and you're just with this person for who they are, then you're going to enjoy each other's company because you're not expecting anything from them.
Right. And to the level of what the book 5 Languages of Love talks about, understanding them to the level of what is it that makes that person tick. And can you speak more to that, Shem?
And that's the whole point of dating. When you're dating, you're trying to know the other person a little bit better.
Right.
And the point of knowing them a little bit better is so that you can know if you can connect.
Right.
So when you get to the point where you're committing to a more permanent relationship, be it a permanent staying together or marriage,
Right.
then you should know what the other person is looking for from you.
From you, exactly.
Because some people like being encouraged to reach their potential. Some people like PDA, being touched in public,
Right.
public show of affection.
I'm definitely I'm the PDA person. That's my language of love. I like someone to touch my hair or just hold
your
my
hands.
hand. Something like that is what makes.
I think I personally wouldn't stop dating somebody just because they won't hold my hands in public or kiss me in public. I would try to understand why they don't do that.
Right.
If it's just because they're not comfortable doing it, I would continue to date them. But
Right.
if I see other signs of, maybe he could be trying to hide something,
Right.
then yeah, definitely I would withdraw.
Right. Okay. And because when we were talking about earlier why relationship fail, and some of the relationships we were talking about is, of course, marriage, which is more permanent. And the question as to why do people cheat in a marriage? You get into the marriage, you date, you get the commitment, and then you still get some spouses who, are unfaithful to each other. What's your take on that, Shem?
Again, it comes back to knowing what the other person really, what feeds the other person.
Okay.
It's generally for women, it's affection.
Uh-huh.
Mostly, I mean, there are women, I'm talking in general, yeah, there are women who that don't care really for affection.
Right.
But for the men, just understanding that the women need the affection, they need to be reassured
Right.
about the way they look, about how they are in public.
Right.
For men we are protectors.
Right.
We are providers.
Oh, that is the best thing you can hear
I
from
know,
a
right?
man, is to be protected, isn't it?
So
Just to be told you're okay by a man, that's a big deal. You will be fine, yes.
So for men, the needs in a relationship are different.
Right.
We want that support system to help us provide for you, for
Right.
the lady, for the wife, for the family.
Exactly.
And whatever you can do in the background is what matters most to most men. At least I can speak to me personally. I have goals. Just help me reach those goals and we're good. And then I will do my part and make sure, I take care of emotional needs and all that.
And protecting you and making you feel safe.
Yes.
So in that respect, do you think, in your opinion, would you like someone who's more like you or less like you? Because people say opposites attract. But I had a conversation with a girl and she said, you know what? I don't want someone who's not like me because we will argue about everything. But I had a conversation with someone else also who said, it's a good thing to date someone who's not like you because you learn so much and they help you, try things that you've never tried and stuff like that. So what would you say? Would you prefer someone who's more like you or less?
It has to be a good mix.
Okay.
There are things that you have to be on the same page on.
Right.
So if I'm as a high achiever, I want to achieve more. If I get a woman who doesn't care as long as she's provided for, she's not going to provide that
Support that you're
I
needing.
need.
Exactly.
So the relationship won't work. I want somebody also who wants good things in life, greatness.
And who wants you to do better.
But at the same time, there are things, each person has to be individual. You have to be able to get out of that relationship and do your thing. Like me, it's golf.
Right.
I get out and go with the boys, hang out.
Right.
And the lady has to have her own thing that she does that, separates from you. Yeah.
Right.
Because when you're all together the whole time, then, you get to clash and...
And that's where the
I
trouble
agree with
starts.
him because I think for any kind of relationship, be it a friendship, to really blossom, you have to have common things together. Like
Right.
whatever is most important to you. If it's maybe if you're into fitness, where
Right.
you feel like you have to go to the gym, so many times a week.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody who would enjoy doing that.
Right.
If you love to travel, you want somebody who would enjoy to do that. If you have to go to church every weekend, you want somebody who's going to do that.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to start clashing because, honey, let's go to the gym. No, I don't feel like going to the gym.
Right.
And it's like, oh, why not? An argument comes up.
Right.
So there's some basic things, whatever is most important to you,
Mm-hmm.
I think the other person needs to have them as well.
Right.
Then, of course, there's certain things that you have to differ in.
Right.
I would not want somebody who's a neat freak.
Okay.
because-
Everything has to be clean. Be clean
because
for hours.
I'm like
Right.
that with my laundry closet. So, you just let me do my laundry closet. Don't touch my laundry closet.
It might be a point of contention.
Right. It might
Yeah.
be.
So I wouldn't, I would not want a mate who's a neat freak, because then he's gonna want to do it his way, and I'm like, no, I do
wanna
the
do
laundry
it
my
my
way.
way.
So you just be sloppy. I'm fine with a sloppy mate,
Right.
because then I will clean after you and do it my way.
Right.
So there's certain things. It's just, I guess, depends on what is really important to you.
Yeah, and I think that's why people talk about pick your battles.
So I'm going to piggyback on Rachel, what Rachel's saying. There are things that are pillar of a relationship.
Okay.
That you cannot afford to have differences. Religion or spirituality is one. You
True.
have, especially if you decide to get into a marriage, you have to make sure that both of you agree on where you're going to go to church. You have the same spiritual beliefs and denominations, whatever you call it.
Right.
Second thing is financially. You have to have the same mentality of how to manage finances.
Right.
Very true.
That's always the biggest fight in marriages, they say.
Yeah, so if you don't have that, then you're going to fail.
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, each person has to have a different set of friends and a different set of hobbies so that, you can get away and then come back.
Miss each other.
Yeah. Okay, and there's always this, people always make this sentence saying that men are visual beings. So for some odd reason, it is believed that a woman has to keep themselves looking a certain way, and that's kind of gives you some kind of immunity towards being cheated on or being left by the man. Is this true? Are men really visual creatures, and is this like the first thing that really grabs them about a person?
It is true that men are visual, and of course, if I was dating you and you kept yourself in a certain way, that's what I liked.
Right.
So if you get into a longer relationship, if you want it to work, you have to try to put the same work you are putting to impress me.
Right.
Whether it's
Rachel is agreeing. She's like, yes, this is true.
But when you change that and you maybe once you get your ring, you're married, then that's not the picture. And we understand that as you grow, your body changes.
Right.
But what we appreciate is just the effort that you're trying to keep yourself up.
Oh, okay.
Because we can see it.
Right.
Maybe before when you're living in your house or living I didn't see the effort.
Right.
But when you're together, I know when you're making effort and when you're not.
Okay. What about you, Rachel? Do you think that this is an area of where the double standard comes in? Because women usually, nowadays it's kind of that way, but usually they don't require the same from men to keep themselves up and look a certain way. Is it more about can they provide security or what do you think?
I think there's a similarity and a difference. I tend to agree that men are more visual beings than women in the sense of, a man will get attracted to the physical appearance of a woman first, whereas a woman might be attracted to the way a man treats her first. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if I'm dating somebody and he's athletic, toned, he doesn't have any tattoos, no piercings, and that's the way I prefer my men to be.
Right.
No tattoos, no piercings, no braided hair.
No tattoos?
No tattoos.
Not even one?
if you must have one, maybe just a little tiny one. But I don't want, writing, poetry. Don't be a chalkboard. Don't be a chalkboard.
Well,
now,
I'm a tattoo girl.
That's fine. I'm just talking about what I like.
Right. That's
so if you have dated you maybe 2 years and you've been clean, maybe you just had a little hurt over here, no
all
piercings, and then all of a sudden 2 years into marriage you want to become a chalkboard, on your back, you have piercings all over, you're braiding your hair. No, it's not gonna work, because I'm like, when we were dating, this is false advertisement. because that's how I compare it.
Right.
When we were dating, you advertised yourself as this person, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
Now that I've bought the goods, I figured out, no, it's not the same thing. I'm going to return it. I'm going to return it. So I think there's a similarity in the sense of you're more likely to see a very pretty lady with a man who's not very handsome looking.
Right.
But if he treats her right, she will stay with him.
Right.
On the other hand, it's very, very rare to see a good-looking man with a not so very pretty woman. So in that sense, I think men are visual beings.
Right.
But we're not just gonna take anything thrown at us either.
That's true. You still want some quality.
And this is also my take. The false advertisement is good, but I believe that if you're mature in yourself and you have certain standards and principles of how you live your life. When you get engaged, married, whatever it is, if you're a principled person, you still keep it. If you like going to the gym, you'll keep
You
doing
still
it.
keep that, right?
If you can change that one thing,
Right.
then you can change a lot
All
of
of
other
other
things
things.
in life, and that changes the whole person that you are.
Right. And I think, isn't that usually a symptom of something? You know, if someone all of a sudden really changes when they're in a relationship, isn't it sort of a cry or some kind of message they're really trying to send out? Like, you know, if you didn't have any tattoos and then all of a sudden you want tattoos, or you didn't go out and all of a sudden you want to do this, don't you think that that's kind of a symptom of
Or the person
maybe
was
you want to
pretending.
get out, or you want, you know.
It's like having a goal and achieving it, and then you say, I've achieved it, I've gotten my man or my woman, and I'm content.
Right.
I don't have to do any more work.
Yeah.
And then a relationship is work. Everybody has to know that. Once you get in it, it's just the beginning of it. You have to cultivate it. It's just like any relationship.
Got it.
You want it to get better, you gotta put more work and you gotta put more thought into it.
Right.
You know, and once people get content, I think that's the problem, is they were just trying to get to that point,
Right.
and they got onto that and then they lost.
And so in addition to that, you know, people who do that, they're actually not being themselves, because if you're going to get tired of doing something and quit doing it, that means that wasn't you to begin with.
Right.
You're just pretending to be this person so you could get that.
Right.
You know, which is not very mature. You know, just be yourself and let somebody like you for who you are, whether you are lazy. Who knows? You know, there's some people who might
Who
be
like
into
lazy people? Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
There are men who like big women, there are men
who
who
like
like
small
small
women.
women.
That's true. Yeah.
I think the key is just to be yourself, so when somebody likes you, they
They're
like
liking
you for
Who you are.
who you're
right.
going to be long term.
Right.
Rather than pretend for a season of time and then you get tired of pretending, because you can't keep pretending for forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking to Shem's point about being content, though, it's still important to, as a person, develop yourself, though, right? Not completely change, but we were talking earlier about how people go to school, and you go to primary school, you go to high school, you go to college, and you're learning things and you're developing yourself, and then once you get out of college, you get stuck in a rut and you don't really try to develop yourself any further. So let's talk about what are some of the things we can do. You're a busy mom, you're a busy dad, or you're out of school and you're going through normal life. What are some of the things that you can do to help yourself grow as a person? Shem.
And I think that's a good segue, because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Right.
And if your life is just a reflection of what's going on. What you portray out there is a reflection of what goes in. So you have to keep yourself growing and find something to do. It also helps the relationship.
Right.
For me personally, I think one of the things is being involved in the community,
Right.
doing charity work,
Yeah.
volunteering.
Right.
For those who know me, I'm a big founder of Nuru Center,
Right.
and that gives me tremendous joy.
Right.
You know, just knowing that I'm changing somebody else's life.
Exactly.
And not only that, it also gives you challenges that you don't get in your everyday environment of work, family.
Right.
So you gotta find
Solutions.
challenges,
Uh-huh.
and you have to find solutions. Which,
Right.
you know,
Helps you
develops
grow as a person.
Yes.
Exactly. And there's really nothing like, realizing that you have more than you think you do the minute you see someone who has
Less
less,
fortunate.
who is
That's
less
true.
fortunate. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good thing that you're doing there with the children. What about spirituality, Rachel? What do you think? How do you think that helps people grow?
To me, I'm a Christian. You know, I attend weekly services.
Right.
And there's always something new to learn, just in the sense of how to live your life. It's guidelines. It's almost like revising rules
Right.
every week, where it makes you stop and reflect
Uh-huh.
on yourself.
Right.
And there's certain times, and I think as human beings we tend to think we are perfect, or we are a good person, or this and that. But the Bible and my Christian life makes me realize almost every day that I'm not perfect. There are areas in my life that I could change, how I relate to people,
Right.
how I talk to people,
Right.
you know. And it's not just, you know, committing quote unquote big sins, you know. It's just simple things
Little
in
things
life.
that- exactly,
How
yeah.
you treat your friends, you know, your co-workers, you know. So that helps me a lot, you know. It's a guideline. Another thing that I do just for myself, you know, to relieve, you know, forget about the rest of the world is hobbies. I think that's something that can help people.
Right.
You know, I think all of us, we have something that we probably would enjoy to do, either by hand, you know. You don't have to be so great at it. You
Right.
don't have to have a display or anything, but just to take time to discover what it is that you can create,
Right.
you know, I think just helps you sit back and just relax and, yeah.
Right. And
Is shopping considered a hobby?
to some women it is. You discover new shoes. And they challenge you.
And then you discover your bank account has less
Oh.
money.
And that's a whole nother challenge.
But to piggyback on development, I think the best education anybody can ever have
Yeah.
is done through traveling.
That's true.
That is very true.
There is no education. Growing up, my parents took us
Places.
to many places.
Okay.
And I think that opened our eyes a lot.
Right.
And for people who travel, the enrichment, it enriches their life a lot more because you get to see so many different things.
Right.
Culturally, you know,
Yep.
architecture, just geography, nature, that it just opens your eyes more than you can ever read in a book,
Right.
see on a television.
Right.
So traveling, and if you're in a relationship, we're talking about relationship,
Right.
it's a way for people to bond.
Get away and bond
get away.
together,
Get away
doing
from the daily-
things.
daily
Exactly. Oh my
The
goodness.
daily stresses. And
Right, but people always think that you have to make a big trip, you know? You can just get in your car and drive to a different state.
Traveling
Yeah.
does not have to be expensive, and
Right.
it does not have to be exotic.
Right.
And that's what people, and there are always bargains there.
Mm-hmm.
If you just take your time, do your research, there are always bargains out there for going to good places at a very
For
low
cheap.
budget.
See, for me, I always look for kids eat free.
you only
Because
have one.
there are
though.
so many, you
No,
know.
but you only have one child.
I know, but still, you know, I mean, eating, you know, is a big.
stay for free
Yeah, no,
in
but
the
I'm
hotels.
No,
that's even better.
no, but eating can get pretty expensive when you're traveling. You
that's
know,
true.
you stop, you eat, you go somewhere, you eat, and you think about that. But let's talk about friendships also. The right kind of friends, right? Who encourage you and help you to grow and challenge you as well. What do you think?
Friendships are very important. I can say, Sally, we come a very long way.
Right.
And there's a period in my life that I know you are a pillar on. I would want to do something and you say, Shem, you can do it.
Oh,
And I would be,
that's me.
yep, and I would achieve it because I knew, hey,
Right.
I have that support.
Right.
And that's why I'm so excited about this talk show because I know I can support you and be a pillar on your end to make sure that it succeeds.
Thank
So
you.
having those kinds of friends that, you know,
Uplifts you,
uplift
encourage
encourage you, and
speak
you do
positivity to your
Positivity
life.
too,
Yeah.
exactly. Although negative people can also help you,
Right.
frenemies can also help you because you know sometimes you say you think, okay, this person doesn't believe I can do it,
But
so
you
I am
don't
going
go
to do
looking
it.
for
Yeah,
friends.
Don't go looking for frenemies.
And don't keep them too close.
Don't think it's- they can suck energy out of you, you
True.
know. And this whole idea
True.
of mean girls, to be honest with you, I didn't even, you know, encounter them until later in life. Like when I
Yeah.
came here, you know, I had good friends, good people around me, good energy. You know, you vibrate off of each other. They understand you. It's awesome, you know, until someone throws a monkey wrench in there. And and we were talking about meditation with one of our other co-hosts the other time and how that can help you. And Richard, you said you have never meditated. You thought you had never
I
meditated.
thought I'd never meditated,
Right.
but you guys gave, because I always thought meditation was, you know, you sit cross-legged, hum,
and
you know,
hum,
raise your hands in the
in the-
air,
on the Himalaya
you know.
mountains and go like,
Exactly.
yeah.
But one of the things, you know, I'm a single mother, 2 children,
Right.
and one of the things I've learned, or I do on a regular basis, once the kids go to bed, they go to bed, you know, 8 o'clock, and then I have about 30 minutes to an hour
Alone time.
where it's just complete silence.
Silence.
No TV, no music, nothing. I'm
Right.
just on the couch silence,
Right.
listening to nature and things. Sometimes I'll actually go outdoors and just sit and listen to, the crickets chirp and the frogs. And
You go outdoors and listen to the crickets.
I mean, in my
You might be
backyard.
weird.
In my backyard. But it's very, you
But
should
no, but
try
it's good.
it.
No,
You
it's
should
awesome.
try it.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing,
Yeah.
it clears your mind.
Yes.
And after about 30 minutes of doing that, you almost feel like you've just come back from a vacation. And
Right.
You feel
A
so
mini
energized.
vacation, and that's
Yeah.
what it can be.
You
Yeah.
feel so energized. So, and I think everybody needs, especially in this society where we are always going from the moment we wake up. It's just run, run, run. You eat your meals on the go.
Yeah.
I think it's really good and healthy to have a slot in your day where
you just reflect
shut
on
off.
nothing. Yeah. It's not easy to shut your mind though, don't you think? I mean, things are always running in your mind. So it's kind of, I'm trying to do that every morning now, to just be quiet and listen to nothing, quiet my mind and start with that kind of meditation and being thankful for everything. It's helping, but it's not easy to shut your mind because there's so many things going on with social media, television, your children and all of this, right?
Yes, I mean there's a lot, especially if you're a parent and you have to think about providing for your children, your family. There is a lot, and then there's a lot of distraction electronically. Everybody has a cell phone now,
Right.
So you wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is go check
Check your
Facebook.
phone, right? What's going on?
What's going
What
on?
did
So
I
all
miss?
these distractions and actually takes away from your potential, because now those moments sometimes that's when you have your aha moments.
Right.
Like I got an idea. Ideas pop out of.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That
I
is so
love
true.
aha moments, and they do happen when you're quiet and silent and meditating.
Because then you let your mind just
You listen
open
to
up.
your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Open up.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And what about reading? Do any of you guys read? I mean, some people think you have to read fiction, you have to read a story or something, but really you can read anything and learn something from it.
Reading is important. I personally, growing up, I read a lot of self-help books.
Okay.
My father used to have a lot of them, so you'd finish them and I'd pick them and read them, and they helped me achieve so much. So definitely, you have to find something you enjoy reading. It can be something like non-fiction. It can be something about a hobby you like. It
Right.
can be a travel magazine. It can be, self-help.
As long as
Whatever
it's
it is.
not
It can be
a
a Bible.
US
whatever it is.
magazine.
Yes.
The tabloids.
No, that's the Inquirer.
Oh,
I don't know anything about it though.
No, you don't. Has someone been reading the Inquirer? Oh my goodness.
But
So
reading is powerful. I mean, it's a second. To me, I always say reading is the second best thing to traveling.
to traveling, that's true.
Because you can travel through the books.
Oh,
True.
are you a big reader?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
You're distracted.
But,
You need to
I'm distracted.
meditate
I'm
and
being
read.
distracted. I think
It
the last book I read was Fire Dance. That's the
Oh,
last book.
that's
By the Salome Carter. But
nice plan.
I love to read. I like to read. Right now I'm trying to do African writer series.
Okay.
So I'm going on Amazon and I'm ordering these books by African writers.
Okay.
And it's just because I don't know. I'm trying to reconnect with my roots. I don't know. I don't know. But a lot of times we forget. I remember when we were in high school, we always read every single school term. We read a book, literature for English literature.
Right.
And I used to enjoy doing that a lot. So a couple of months ago, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stop reading all other books, and I'm gonna try to reconnect with my African writers. And I've discovered, a lot of new writers, and old writers, and they're very interesting books. The poetry is very interesting.
Yeah.
It's different, very different from the Western writers,
Right.
but very, very interesting. So.
So I give you a challenge. Like I said, I used to read leftovers from my father.
Yes.
The challenge as a parent is you can use this as a way to influence your kids, because they will gravitate. If they see you reading something,
right.
they'll gravitate
towards that. Yeah.
And it's interesting you say that, because actually that's what brought about me reconnecting with the African writers, because as you know, I'm from Kenya, and I've raised my children here, and we'd never had an opportunity to travel back to Kenya. And so what they would hear about Kenya is maybe half the time from Black History Month.
Okay.
And so their perception of Africa was really something dark.
Skewered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one time, one of the kids came home. I think it was Sydney. He came home and he was talking about, in Africa people wear loincloths, and I'm like, what? Where did you get this idea from?
Right.
And so I realized I was neglecting my duty as a parent who's African in teaching my children their heritage.
Right.
So in doing that, after I realized that, I started ordering the books and I'd read it and tell them the story.
Right.
So we are actually reading together. The books are a little advanced for them, but I read the book and tell them the story.
I think that's awesome.
So it's
I have been wanting to teach Jordan Swahili for a while, and we keep going back and forth about. I know I need to, and now I don't know if it's too late, but I think it's important to teach them their heritage, so they can see firsthand what's happening.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
We have 2 Swahili books for first graders.
So what did you just read them to them, and they kind of catch on?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to borrow it sometime.
Oh my gosh, she's put me on the spot now. I have to borrow the book and teach my child Swahili.
It's a beautiful
I'm ashamed
thing.
that she doesn't know, but it's difficult because we didn't speak Swahili that much, because her dad doesn't speak Swahili.
I had the same challenge.
Right.
I had the same challenge.
It's challenging.
But
yeah.
another thing that we've kind of digressed, but another thing you could do is music.
Yeah. Music.
We
Yeah,
do
the right kind of music.
We
though.
do a lot of the old, Swahili songs, from the 50s and 60s,
right,
which had messages, and so we play the music and they'll ask what is the song talking about, and you play it over and over to the point where they actually now
and sing along.
They sing
along. Oh, that's good.
They sing
She
along
knows
the songs.
Yeah, when my mom came here, she taught Jordan a song that she's never forgotten, a Swahili song, and so she can still sing that. Speaking of music, I asked Jordan the other day, I was like, Jordan, so do you think that you are discovering who you are as a person and your likes and dislikes? And she said to me, yes I am. I said, so what are you discovering? And she said, I've discovered that I like old school music. So of course I was like, oh wow, I thought she was gonna, give me, I said, like, give me an example of old school music. And she said, In Sync.
That's old school to her.
That's old school to her.
It's all relative. Old school is relative.
That's true. I thought she was gonna give me some James Brown or something. I was like, oh my God, my child. I said, oh my God, my child is so deep. She's about to tell me something. And then she said In Sync. I was like, I guess that's old school to her. That reminds me. But thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in and having this discussion. The issues about personal development, we will put that on our website, which is www. Who says www anymore, right?
I guess you do.
It is theletstalkshow.com. We will put some of the things that we discussed about charity and reading and traveling, meditation, hobbies, spirituality, and friendships, and how they can help you develop as a person. So I want to say thank you so much, Shem, for coming in.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I enjoyed the discussion as well, and we will see you guys next time. So come back here and let's talk some more. Thank you.